Hi Stampers, this is Sue Petty Baylor. These are the 3 cards that we're going to be making for our November card kit. I've used, it's called Fancy Holiday Fancy Foil Vellum, something like that, on each one of these cards. So we're going to get started. We're going to do this card first. I'll set that aside. You should have all this stuff in your card kit. All right, remember we're going to find the raised area of the score line, fold with the raised area on the inside of your card, and I like to use a bone folder for a nice crisp crease. I think the easiest way to adhere vellum to cardstock is by using these mini glue dots. So I'm gonna, have something along for the ride. And I'm gonna put the mini glue dot kind of behind where there's embossing so it's less visible. I think, vellum doesn't have to be adhered, I think, quite as much as regular cardstock. For some reason, it feels okay to leave it just kind of attached a little. And because of where this Glimmer Paper ornament is, I'm going to put a little more adhesive behind where that's going to sit. It'll cover up any adhesive that shows through. The glue dots don't show through too much though. They seem to be pretty good. Okay, so that's good, and it seems to be adhered down fairly well. This is an ornament that I cut from this Embellished Ornaments stamp set and die set. Unfortunately, this is a retired set, but I thought it was really pretty and made for a very quick and easy card. In your kit, you'll find somewhere between 16 and 20 inches of this silver cording. That is, most of the things that I'm using today are retired, unfortunately. So you're going to make a bow for each one of your cards. Make sure it's good and tight, and then trim the ends. So all of your pieces you're going to find on a strip like this. They all are mounted onto mini glue dots. So you're just going to peel them off with a mini glue dot and then put them on the front of your card. I'm going to take a piece of regular Scotch tape. I want this right in the center. I just want to tape that down. Up there I see a glue dot. And then I'm going to bring that towards the front. Excuse my arm. And again, tape it down. And your ornament is going to go right over the top of that. And because of the Mary, I wanted enough room. Let me bring this down just a little. Oops, so it doesn't show around the edges of the ornament. And then I can move it down however I want, however far. This one I felt was a little too high up for my taste, I'm going to attach Mary, this Mary cutout, onto the bottom of my card, and I'm just going to peel off the backing from the adhesive sheets. When I cut these out, I used adhesive sheets. And I want this down fairly far towards the bottom. I think that first R is just about the center of Mary. And just tack it down. And then that will stay in place. And you can use whatever glue you like. If you use tape runner, that's fine. And you're going to glue your ornament to the center top of the card front. If you have dimensionals, you could you could certainly use dimensionals. And I'm going to take a glue dot and attach this cording to the top of my ornament. And then this also has a glue dot on it. And I'm going to put this little, it's actually a snowflake cutout from a retired die set. And then this will get glued onto the card front with about 1/8 of an inch showing all the way around the edges. Okay, I just cut a 1/2 inch strip of real red, and I think what I'm going to do is about the same size. This is Stamp and Seal. It's a new replacement tape runner. And I'm just going to cover the whole back of this piece with the tape runner. Actually, I want this back in here. And I'm going to attach that to the middle. And because I put tape runner along the entire length, the glue is not quite as noticeable, although it does still show through. So you can decide whether or not you want to do this. Actually, I think I'm going to I really got a lot of glue on this. So I'm just going to take my adhesive eraser so that this doesn't glue my card shut. The other thing you can do if you don't have a glue eraser, and I imagine most of you don't, I happen to have an embossing buddy, or an embossing bag that I'm just running over. I just ran that over the top of the vellum to get rid of any stickiness that might still remain behind. I would think that you could very carefully, maybe like with a paintbrush, dust on a very light coating of cornstarch, and then take a barely damp paper towel or microfiber cloth and wipe it off. The cornstarch will stick to any adhesive that you might have on there. And then the damp cloth will get off any excess cornstarch, that white powder that might be sticking on there. So I'm just going to put this along the inside edge just to give it a little decoration. Okay, That's the first card. And actually I should show you, this is a little high for me. This is the first card that I made. I like the ornament basically centered in the middle of the card with Mary along the bottom. All right, this is the next one we're going to do. You have a real red card base, which is scored. And again, you're going to fold it with the mountain fold, or the mountain on the inside of the cardstock. And you have two pieces of Whisper White cardstock that are 5 1/4 by 4 inches. One is for the inside of your card. The other one is for the front. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the last card. I'm going to take glue dots and I'm going to put them along the edge of the vellum behind the trees so they're not so visible. Okay. So I've cut this just a little bit smaller than the white piece because I like that white edge around the perimeter, kind of sticking out from behind the green foil trees. So again, glue on the back of this piece, mount it to the front of your card. And then this piece and the tree, I ran through the textured textiles, I think it's called, embossing folder, because I thought it gave it a little more interest. Okay. And then you're going to glue your white circle to the middle of your red circle. Okay, I'm going to use dimensionals behind this circle. You can see this is a scrap. I'm going to do the dimensionals at the top and the bottom. Okay, and then this goes over towards the left side of the card. And you can glue the tree on however you like. And on the, let's see, I want this down a little ways. Oops, let's get that on there. And I actually have this off to the left a little bit. You could center it if you like. Also, let's see, in your kit you have a gold star. On this card I did sequins. The gold star doesn't really show up. I think this shows up better. And then instead of the sequins, I gave you a strip of these holiday rhinestones that you can use to decorate your card, your tree. And I'm just going to scatter them. What do you think? I like the rhinestones better. But I'm thinking that you might want more rhinestones than what I gave you, so I think I will put a few more in the bags. I'm just going to spread these out a little bit. I think that's good. There's something about an odd number that I think looks better. I always go for odd numbers. Anyway, so these are the two cards, the holiday rhinestones and sequins. Which do you like better? If you like the sequins better, I'm happy to give you some sequins. Just let me know. And I'm happy to pass those along. Okay, and then the last card we're going to do is this one, this Joy card. Just get my little pile here. I had a little mess up with that. All right, you're going to fold your cardstock, burnish it. Again, you have 2 pieces of Whisper White. One is for the inside. Oh, we didn't decorate the inside of the Christmas tree. We'll go back and do that. One for the inside, one for the front. Okay, let's take some glue dots. We'll press these behind the red foil so they're not so visible. I'm going to put a couple up top, couple up the bottom, and then one in the middle. And then I want this right along the far edge. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece of garden green cardstock, and I'm going to butt it right up against the red and white striped foil. And then I have this really short piece of ribbon. I miscut it, so I gave myself the short piece. And actually, before I put that ribbon on, I'm going to flip my card over and just trim off the edges. They were cut just a hair long. All right, this is going to be interesting. So actually, normally I would, I would wrap this and just tape it around the back. I'm going to go for the glue dot. I'm going to do one on each end. These are really, really strong. It's an instantaneous stick, and I feel like it's more secure than tape. All right, so I'm going to very carefully fold this right over the top edge. Is that centered? Yeah. So just down the center of that green, and then they're just adhered to the back. If I adhered this with tape, I would be really concerned that they wouldn't hold. But because they're glue dots, I think it will be fine. So this, I'm going to flip that over. Excuse me, I'm going to adhere this to the front of my, to the front of my real red with, again, 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And I'm going to take my Joy cutout and peel the back off. And have that fairly down towards the bottom and then centered. Give that a good press. Sometimes it helps to take a bone folder and rub it from the back to get that adhesive sheet to really adhere well. The Mary seemed to adhere pretty well, but this one, it feels way, way better. Okay, and then we have our little ornaments. And I have my ornament toppers here somewhere. And I'm just going to, again, yours are on glue dots. Here they are. So I'm going to put these little toppers on the top of my, this is an 1¼ inch circle. And I'm just going to move these around till they are about where I want them. I think right about there. And I have a black marker. You can use a black pen and just draw a line from the top of your ornament. I should have my glasses on, to the top of your paper. And this one I'm going to do about that far because this is going to cover that. Any black pen will be fine. And then we're going to, you can use tape runner or whatever glue you like. I happen to like liquid glue. Okay, that's all right. Okay. And then the inside, I just have a piece of the striped vellum. I should turn it sideways to get it straight. It's hard to see if things are straight when I do it from top to bottom. If I do it like this, sideways, it's a little easier for me. And again, I'm going to do a little glue. And again, I'm turning this horizontally so I can get that straight. Okay. Okay, let me bring back this card and we're going to decorate the inside of this one too. I gave you guys vellum strips that you can use on the inside of your card if you choose, just to make it a little more festive. And then I'm just going to mount this on the inside so that you have a surface to write on. This red is too dark to be able to write on. Okay, so these are the 3 cards that we ended up making. Pretty quick and simple. Most everything has adhesive on the back. All these little pieces have glue dots on the back, and these rhinestones, these holiday rhinestones, are all self-adhesive as well. Happy stamping!